YouTube, what is going on, my friends? I hope you guys are doing awesome today. It is Wes Spencer here with you. Man, I hope you guys are ready for a good weekend. It's Friday. Some of you guys on the other side of the pond have probably it's evening for you or late at night, and your weekend's already hit, and I'm kind of jealous. But this is my last big thing of the week. We've had a great week this week. A lot of big things have been happening around here in my sphere of the world. And it's great to connect with you guys. It's a lot of work to produce a YouTube video, especially like one that's fully edited. And so I like going live because I can just be me and we can just relax together and we can just talk about the things we want to talk about. And so that's what we're going to do today. It makes it way easier for me just to have a live stream pumped out versus a ton of work. If you guys don't know me, I'm not a full-time YouTuber. I do YouTube because I absolutely love it. I describe it to my friends. I'm like, some people golf, but I YouTube, right? And I've been a crypto enthusiast for a long time. And so I really love covering that on the channel. And so definitely like and subscribe. I think I've got that up right now as the caption from default from before. But if you haven't done that, would you really? It would mean a lot. And when we get to the AMA section, I'm going to turn the chat to subscribers. So if you want to chat, I think it's members only right now, but if you want to change in a little bit, I'll switch it over to for the AMA section. I'll switch over to subscribers. So definitely subscribe if you haven't. Getting close to that creator award that'll go on the wall, and that's going to be fun for me. I keep talking about it, but really is a bucket list item for me. So here are the things we're going to talk about today. We're going to be talking about what's going on in the Pi network. We're going to talk about patience, what's happening there. I'm going to explain kind of my views on what's going on there. It's all good things, right? Don't worry. We're going to talk a little bit about what the heck is happening in the market. Man, the market is like not doing so great. We're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm not worried about it. I don't think you should be worried about it either, but let's try to understand what's happening a little bit from the economic side of the house. And we'll talk about some news stuff that's happening that's kind of crazy, some wild things. So first thing I think I should get started with is it needs to be said occasionally because it hurts my very soul. And I mean this, it really does. It hurts my feelings when I spend a ton of time on YouTube and producing awesome material for you guys. And sometimes people will call me a shill, right? So this user here, doesn't matter their name, but they're saying, anyone watching this, please realize he's shilling you at the top of step and do not buy. And I'm like, really? Like I'm not shilling. If you don't know about me, I don't take video sponsor reviews. At some point, I will take sponsors, just like you watch TV and you see a sponsor for a video. But I don't take shills, right? Like I'm not about that. I don't need the money from YouTube. And so it's kind of nice to be able to do my own thing and cover the projects I want to cover. But ultimately what happens is when you're a channel like me and you actually cover things that interest you, especially newer projects, people knee jerk to the you're a shill. So I'm not a shill. I'm not taking money for reviews. I don't need it. I'm not a full-time YouTuber. And I understand why full-time YouTubers do shill. I don't think it's right, but I think they do it because they need to put bread on the table as well. And there's need for a new model in this crypto space because influencers certainly do push markets in ways that are unhealthy. So thought I would just share that and let you guys know I'm not shilling. I thought Steppen, and I do think Steppen is cool. I went for a run today with my phone. I've got an update on Twitter. It's I'm at Wes_Spencer. If you want to see my update, I did like a 10-minute run today. Earned about $30 from the shoe, and I thought it was pretty cool. So I'm having a lot of fun with Steppen. I think it's pretty neat. So if you're in it, let me know in the comments. But by the way, if I'm shilling at the top, then why is the market tanking when I started making my video? Like it doesn't really make sense. And by any stretch of the market that you look at here, I'm definitely not shilling at the top. Not shilling at all. So, man, kind of hurts my feelings a little bit, but I just thought it'd be good to say that there's no shilling here. Okay, so let's talk a little bit before I get to Pi Network. Let's get into what's happening in the market here. Let me re-squeeze my screen so you can see everything. I like that word, re-squeeze. There we go. So the market's not doing well at all. Let's go back and just take a look at the overall dynamics here. Man, not good. Look at this. So Bitcoin is down at 36. When I started the live stream, it was at 35. So it's crawled up just a little bit. But the market's down across the board and down quite a bit. And there's always a lot of like FUD that goes through the cycles when the market is down. And we've been struggling with, a weak market for quite some time. And if you don't know me, I don't really do like technical analysis on this channel. It's not my thing. I think most crypto YouTubers that do technical analysis, they just stumble around, and there are some good ones that are out there. Hear me. But most of it is FUD. Most of it is they don't know what they're talking about. And if you listen to YouTubers on what to buy and sell and all that, you're probably going to go broke. Don't do that. Don't listen to me either. So the market's not doing great. And I wanted to share a couple news articles on why the market's not doing great. So first of all, here's one. This comes from Fortune. Isn't it crazy we're in an era now where like Fortune magazine covers crypto? But we are. That's definitely a cool sign, right? So Bitcoin plummets even further as sell-offs continues, dipping below 36,000. We're back up to 36 right now. We'll see how long that holds. A lot of articles and news analysis is saying that most of the support, if we do see it continue to go down, that most of the support is around 30,000. That's where probably a lot of the buy orders are at. And so all that means is that would not be a good situation if Bitcoin continued to tumble down, unless you're looking to buy in and really all of crypto, unless you're looking to buy in when it's low price and get in, it could be a great time for you. But they talk about a little bit of this, right? So they talk about how crypto's down, Bitcoin is down. I think they said like 9 something percent, something like that. Yeah, down 9.1% over the last 24 hours. Ethereum's down 8.3 and the overall market's at 8.1. So this is not like picking on like the majors that are out there. The whole market is down. And we know there's reasons for it. There's always lots of reasons for it. But one of those reasons, and I think this article is correct on this, and I don't think you can ever attribute market crashes to like just one thing in many cases, but this one here I thought was good. So Federal Reserve indicated that it would raise interest rates again by 0.5 point. And so what's interesting about that is when the feds raise rates, and this is not a big financial channel, right? So I'm not going to dive totally into this, but they're really trying to stamp out and get control over inflation. We have so much inflation, which inflation is where we have all this US dollar that's been poured into the system. And that's why everyone complains about why gas is so high. And I tried to buy a steak the other night for the family and I couldn't afford it because it's now like $14 when it used to be like, $8. It's why everything is blown up in price. That is true, right? And so one of the ways you get control of that is the Fed steps in and Federal Reserve and starts curbing interest rates and getting control of that by raising those rates. I shouldn't say curb, but raising rates. And so what happens is typically in the stock market, when that happens, stocks go down in value. And there's always been for the longest time this view in the crypto scene of like stocks and crypto are diametrically opposed to each other. In other words, they're opposed to each other because when you see the stock market fall down, people want to go into an alternative asset like gold, like precious metals, like real estate, and like crypto. But what's interesting is, I'm going to show this to you, is tracking over time is not a perfect correlation, but a pretty deep correlation that crypto actually follows the stock market. And so while stocks have plummeted when the Fed announced rates being hiked, even though it's 0.5 percentage point, and there'll be more to come, we see crypto go down as well. So crypto actually seems to follow a little bit more like a like stocks, and I think that's kind of interesting. So again, going back to Forbes magazine, 100 billion in the crash. They're talking about how all the others are going down to Ethereum, XRP, Luna, Solana, Cardano. All of them are going down, right? So we see this, right? So they talk about this as well. And they talk a little bit more about, see if I can find this here in the article. Bitcoin struggles by no means in isolation of the S&P 500. So they're kind of tracking with it, right? And however, this analyst, Koperman or whatever his name is upbeat about the Bitcoin price, but less positive about other cryptos. And they talk somewhere in the article about how here we go. So the market had a delayed response to the Federal Reserve's biggest hike rate since 2000. And again, keep in mind that we are seeing inflation at record levels. Like we haven't seen this level of inflation since like the 1980s. So you combine this huge, I don't want to say unprecedented inflation, but inflation over a 40-year window, it's going to hurt the stock market. It's going to hurt the finance market as a whole. And we're seeing crypto go right alongside it. So a lot of these articles are dealing with this of how the two really trend well together. I don't think it's the world's biggest concern. I think it's something that like we can all just sort of understand, hey, it is what it is. And let's be patient through it. And we've seen these things happen before, and you're going to have to make decisions that I can never educate you on of like, do you get out of your positions? Do you go buy more? Do you just hold through it? I'm not your financial advisor, right? And nobody on crypto, crypto YouTubers should be, but just be aware that, these things are happening and they've happened many times in the past. I thought I had an article on inflation as well, but I can't seem to. Oh, here it is. Let me bring this back over to you. So let's see if I can get this added back into the window here. Let's see if that worked. Hopefully you guys can see this now. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is from Trading Economics. And so they're comparing and looking at how inflation has continued to go up unabated month over month. And so we can see that overall, I think the CPI, which is like a measurement of inflation, is at 6.5%, the most in 40 years. So we see that that's a pretty significant number, right? So we know that this is a huge challenge for us in the space. And then one other article, of all people, Ally wrote this. Ally is a bank. So keep that in mind of who wrote this article, right? But does inflation impact cryptocurrency? And this is a really good article. You should go take a read at this one because I actually think it's pretty good. And they do show that they do track together, right? You may not have to worry too much on this. Don't count on crypto. Sponsored by a bank, right? Kind of cracks me up. But either way, we do see that the crypto market follows the stock market quite a bit. And so I think when you understand that, it sort of helps you be like, oh, okay, at least we're not isolated here. And it's not like crypto is for some mysterious, dark, nasty reason is falling down. No, it's much more simple than that. And so don't think there's a ton of reasons to worry too much. Okay, so next up on the agenda, before we get into some crazy news, I want to talk about what's happening in the Pi ecosystem a little bit as well. So when it comes to Pi, people reach out to me all the time. They're like, Wes, why are you not covering Pi? You're like, what's going on? I'm like, I covered it like a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. A lot of times we just hit news lulls in the Pi network ecosystem, and that's totally okay. When I don't have anything to cover, I don't manufacture news. I guess you could argue that I'm manufacturing it right now, but I wanted to answer the question because people ask me all the time, like, why are you not covering a certain crypto project? And typically it's because I don't have anything newsworthy enough to cover, and I don't want to just manufacture something just to get more views. So here's the thing that's happening in the Pi network. One thing to keep in mind is the core team is really small, right? Like I think they've grown now, but I still think they're under 20. And there is nothing wrong with that. The Pi core team, like every company, let me kind of clue you in a little bit about how this stuff works. I've started companies. I recently created a company way back in 2016 called Perch Security. We grew it up to about 55, almost 60 employees and sold it about a year and a half ago, something like that. So this world I'm used to. And a lot of times startups in the software world have options on how you start them. One option is you can do what's called a funded startup, where you actually go and get VC funding, which gets you off the ground. VC stands for venture capital. And you go find these firms that sort of fit in the technology portfolio that you're in, and they're looking to give money to these companies in exchange of getting equity back. And so you do these pitch sessions. If you've ever watched like Shark Tank, it's very similar to that, except for the fact you don't have like 4 or 5 competing investors. And it's actually a much longer discussion and a lot more boring. They just clip out a lot in Shark Tank to make it interesting. But there is some truth to how the whole thing works. And you're trying to find VCs, and those VCs give you the funding to be able to grow quickly. And this is critical in software companies because speed to scale is a big deal. You need to grow your company as quick as possible and blow it up and get it big enough, because if you don't do it fast enough, another competitor will come along and beat you on the technology race, and they've supplanted you, and your company just, I don't want to say falls apart, but doesn't grow the way you want it to grow. So that's called that's called funding. And many SaaS companies go through funding. Now, I do believe the Pi core team did take like an early funding round, like a really, really early, what's called a seed round, but they've not taken funding outside of that. They've grown it themselves. And so what that means is, let me get to what that means in just a minute. The other way you can grow is what's called bootstrapping. And this is what the Pi core team has done. Bootstrapping is when you say, hey, we don't really want to give out equity, and we also don't want VCs to be in there and sort of steering the company the way they want to steer, because they have equity and they have some amount of a say in it, right? We just want to stay away from that. So we're going to bootstrap. And bootstrap just means we're going to grow it organically on our own. And there are a lot of advantages to bootstrapping a company. Those advantages are you kind of stay pure to who you are. They let you build the company the way you want it to be built. But the offset of that is that a lot of times your growth is slower because you don't have the capacity, by having a ton of money you've gotten in investment, to go hire a bunch of people to build, and then the company revenue catches up. You're not doing that. When you're bootstrapped, you're growing with the resources you have. And so most of Pi's income is coming off the ads on the application, and that's probably about it. And so the core team is having to be very slow and methodical about how they grow. And that, hear me, that is okay. They've expressed that that's the way that they want to grow Pi. And so the trade off is you're going to have times like now where you're like, what's happening? Like, why am I not seeing huge updates coming in? That's the answer why. And so we're in the stage where KYC needs to get through and all users need to get through KYC. Now, I myself have still not gotten through KYC, and I will let you know when I do. So I'm in the same boat. If you're impatient, just know I'm in the same boat you are. I have no special privileges, nothing extra that I have that you don't have, any of that kind of stuff. It's going to take some time. So let's be patient on that. And I do want to see the core team produce numbers on KYC. I think they're accountable back to us in the community that are upholding it to understand how many KYC checks have gone through, how many new validators have come in, what's the speed and scale, and what are the projections looking like. I think we are all owed that kind of information. So I'd love to see that from the core team. But at this point, I'm totally okay with, like, there's no cause for panic. I realize people are getting impatient. I don't understand what you have to be impatient about. If there's one thing I've learned of like, how long now? Almost 10 years of being in crypto, getting close. Patience is the name of the game. I mean, yeah, we hear the news articles about some guy that bought Bored Apes when it was like super cheap at like 1 ETH and sold it for $250,000. We only hear those successes, right? And those do exist, but understand they're the exception, not the norm. And so if the norm is being patient and growing your investment slowly, methodically, strategically, carefully, with a lot of due diligence, then you should be okay with where Pi is going. You have the ability to be in the system now. You're carving out extra Pi every single day by checking into the app. And I have no doubt that Pi will deliver. The mainnet will come. KYC will be completed in some form, in some fashion, although I can't say when. And when that happens, I think everyone's going to breathe a sigh of relief and be like, it's done. It's here. Yes, finally. So that's kind of where I'm at with Pi. Not a lot of news right now, sort of at the bottom of a news cycle, and that's okay. When the next news cycle comes out, I will absolutely cover it and absolutely give you the information I think that's going on with it. So there you have it. And in a minute, I will switch it over to subscribers on chat. So if anyone wants to ask me questions, like more questions about Pi, would be glad to do that. So let's jump back into the third segment here, and I want to cover some crazy crypto news. So here's one that I thought was wild and hilarious. So this came in, and if you haven't heard, the latest news that's critical is Gucci. You know, we all know Gucci. You know, we all carry their handbags, don't we? The overpriced accessory company, in my view. Sorry, I'm not really a fashion nerd. I mean, look at my shirt, just a regular shirt. I'm just a regular guy. But they're now accepting crypto for payments. And I'm like, yeah, this makes sense because there's that Venn diagram that definitely exists between super rich people that buy Gucci and crypto enthusiasts. Although actually those two things are becoming more and more the same. I remember when I first got into crypto and people were like, yo, Wes, I know you're a nerd, but like, what do you see in crypto? And then I remember when crypto went to like $20,000 way back in like 2018 or whatever. And they're like, yo, Wes, how do I get into crypto, man? You got some extra for me? I'm like, nope, you didn't like it back then. You got to get in the same way I did. You got to buy and hold and be patient, man. And so I realized that, crypto is making millionaires every single day, and that's awesome. But I don't think a lot of them have a lot of overlap into Gucci. But in case like that's not bad enough, look at this. This cracks me up here. It's here somewhere in the article. I may have to search for it. Here it is. The firm also said, get this, that they're going to take payments in Shiba and Doge. And I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense because you're going to get a lot of people coming in that are going to be paying for their $5,000 handbag with Dogecoin or Shiba, right? Like all these rich Shiba army people are definitely wanting to go buy a bunch of Gucci. It goes hand in hand, right? It's like, brisket and baked beans together, right? It cracks me up. I think there's no scenario in which you're going to get a lot of Shiba people coming in buying a bunch of Gucci. I mean, whatever. If they want to do it, go for it. Who am I to stop them? But I'm like, what's going on with that, right? Another one that's a big news. I cover Cosmos a lot on this channel, and I don't get a ton of views on my Cosmos videos, which is a shame. But Cosmos is a newer ecosystem that you're going to continue to see grow and do really, really well over time. And Cosmos is awesome because of its interoperability. And I've been talking about the need for crypto projects to have more interoperability all the time. I think it's a critical need for us. And so, one of the projects inside of the Cosmos ecosystem is called Juno. And I had a video I did just recently on Juno where they have taken their licks. There was an airdrop of Juno where Juno was like distributed into the hands of the users. Come to find out, there was one user who sort of gamed the system and was able to get millions of dollars of Juno airdropped to them because they held, like, I guess, thousands of different wallets. And so that airdrop was given to all these individual wallets with the assumption that one wallet went to one person. And in reality, this is kind of like what Pi is solving with KYC. There was one user with a ton of wallets. And so they got millions worth. And there was a big vote in the community and a lot of drama over how do we handle this and what do we do? And the community voted through the DAO to say, we're going to take those funds away and we're going to give them back into the community to be distributed out fairly to everybody. Awesome, right? I actually voted for that, believe it or not. I thought it was the right thing to do, but I understand why other people might not have. Only to find out couple days ago, or yesterday actually, they took that $36 million and summarily sent it off into nowhere. So the developers, look at this, the developers of Juno meant to send that $36 million to a community controlled wallet, but they instead sent it out, I think, to, like, I forget where they sent it instead, but it was not the right place. It wasn't even a real wallet. And so they basically destroyed it. They basically took $36 million from a ton of drama, a ton of argument, a ton of what do we do with it, and said, we'll solve this problem. We're going to take all this money and we will take it away from them and tick off that side of the community. And then instead of giving it to the community at large, we're going to tick them off too, because we're basically going to go shove it in a digital furnace and burn it and destroy it forever. And that's what happened. And a lot of people are really angry at this. They're like, Juno, this is amateur hour. Like the very basic, even Vitalik himself, the founder of Ethereum, when he moves his crypto, he does a tiny bit first to make sure it works, and then he does the rest of it. And that's how I do it. That's how all of us do it. We do a little bit first to test, and then we send the rest. And I guess they just YOLO'd the money in and hit the send button, and off it went. And as we've heard this over and over and over and over in crypto, when you send it to the wrong place, there's usually nowhere and nobody to help you. One of the most painful downsides to the blockchain, it's immutable. If human error causes something to be sold for the wrong price or money sent to the wrong place, reversing it can be difficult or even usually impossible. And that's what happened to the Juno team. So what's going to happen to Juno? I don't know. I think someone told me there's already a new vote to like recreate the money, and they'll just reissue the new Juno, but the community has to vote for it. And I'm kind of like, no, guys, I think you need to learn your lesson. I voted yes before to take it away from the whale. Maybe I'm going to vote no this time because I don't know what I'm going to vote for. But I'm blown away by it. Just nuts to me. Okay, one other piece of news that I wanted to get into, and then we're going to flip it over to AMA. You can ask me anything. I'm pumped for you guys to do so. We're seeing California take some strides and becoming more crypto friendly. And I think this is a great move. And what's happening inside of the federal government circles, especially the SEC, really tightening down and getting rid of crypto earn programs and really tightening down on DeFi and stable coins, which they view as a threat to their ecosystem. Now we're seeing this right here from CNBC, that Governor Newsom, like him or hate him, this is the guy that was like almost voted out of office. I don't live in California. I live in Florida, so other end of the country. But, I know he's either loved or hated. And this channel is not about politics. So I really don't care in that side of the house. But California governor issues executive order on crypto as they're trying to embrace blockchain technology. And they mentioned that like a quarter of all like crypto is inside of California, which makes sense because Silicon Valley is where all startups, many startups, not all, but many startups exist. And so I think they're looking at this of like, we see a ton of people heading out the great exit out of California into places like Florida and Idaho and Texas and Arizona, all these other these states that are more tax friendly. And so you're seeing them really say, how do we make sure we continue to seize on and foster and grow and incubate crypto-based companies? So they wrote an executive order from the governor himself around all of it. And so I think that's great, right? We'll see what it does. In today's video, just for brevity's sake, I'm not going to go into all of it, but they talk about a couple things. They They reflects consultation with state agencies, with upcoming federal reports and priorities, and making sure that we're protecting the environment, energy, preventing criminal activity, but in so doing, fostering a place to grow. So let's hope that it carries under that effect and does exactly what it says it's going to do, and doesn't actually hurt where we're going with crypto. Because if it does the wrong thing, not only may we move more crypto away from California, but potentially even completely out of country. And this is the challenge with innovation, is that regulators have to be able to manage and sort of deal with this whole challenge of how do we foster innovation in crypto, but also protect and like not go protect what we need to keep the country safe, right, or whatever. And you do too much on the overregulation side, you'll stifle innovation. And here's the thing about innovation: it's like water; it's going to go wherever it wants to go. And so that's just sort of how this stuff works, and we just need to be prepared for it. So there you have it. That is what's going on in the world of crypto. And I'm trying to bring back up my YouTube here and get the comments going back again. So if you guys have any questions for me, there's a whole bunch of you on here. I'd love to answer any questions that you guys may have around any of the news that was happening today, or anything else that you have. And if you ask me about a project, I'll be the first to tell you I have no clue if I don't know the project. There's a bajillion projects that are coming out all the time, and if I can answer it, I will. If I can't, I won't. I'll just tell you it's not a project I know about. So any activation codes for STEPN? For me, no. I'm going to look right now. And someone will have to even let me know. I'm so new into STEPN, I forget how you get them, but I know where to find them. So I can go right here, and I don't have my phone mirrored, but I have activation codes right up, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. But yeah, so I've got 0 out of 0, unfortunately. So when I get one, I'll post it somewhere. You guys have to let me know where you want me to post the activation code, maybe on Twitter, or do a giveaway for it or something. I don't know, but I'll absolutely be happy to give it away to the community. John Yu is coming in. So I'm Yodi verified, and now there's an additional special KYC process that we have to complete, which will get us invited into a rolling basis to complete missing information. Yeah, that is correct, John Yu. The only reason I know that is I'm not a mod. I know, I do talk to the core team on occasion, but I have seen them talk about that even Yodi verified, there's a couple other checks that are going to have to happen. So we'll see what happens out of that. But I don't know the answer of when that will happen, or what all you're gonna have to do. We're just gonna have to see. Let's see what else in here. What about IOTX? I covered IOTX a while ago, but it's been a while since I've gotten into it. I like the project, but I'm not familiar enough with it to give you any comments around it. So I'll have to give that another look and update myself. It's so difficult to stay on top of every project that's out there, but I did cover it a long time ago. If you search my channel, you'll be able to find it. Taylor, thank you. Great work on your videos. Love your stuff. I appreciate that, Taylor. I do work hard, and I do it because I love you guys. It's a lot of fun for me to live stream. It's a lot of fun for me to produce content. I love the ability to have influence and steer things in ways that I want to steer them. But I'm not doing this for like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not chilling no matter what that person said and accused me of. So I appreciate the comments, and I really, it's awesome because I'm doing this for you guys. What do you think about the James CT? What do you think about the future of Pi apps? Will it be able to pick up the value of one Pi to at least $1,000? Okay, here's the thing. Someone who's going to ask it, I can't tell you what the challenge, and James, I'll give you my thoughts on it. I can't tell you what the price of Pi will be. I don't even know what the price of Pi will be. And neither does the core team. If the core team doesn't know what the price of Pi will be, then nobody knows. So at this point, it's all speculation. Speculation is okay. And I think in communities, speculation is even fun, right? It's the kind of thing you want to sit around with some friends with a beer in your hands and talk about, what do you think it's going to be? What do you think it's going to be? I think that's great. I think it's fun, but let's tamp down the expectations of what we think it'll be worth. And here's why. So if we say Pi is going to be worth $1,000, then the market value of that is however many Pi are issued will be that times $1,000. And I think the core team has said it'll probably be somewhere around 10 billion to 30 billion Pi will be in circulation when we go to full open mainnet. So let's just do the numbers real quick. You can't see my calculator, but I'm bringing, you know what? I'll just show it to you. Why not? So let's do share, stop sharing, start sharing, window, calculator. Okay, so you're going to see what I'm seeing. All right. So if we just say there is, let's go to the low number, right? So let's just say there are 10 million. So there we go. There's 10 billion pi released at open mainnet, and we say it's worth $1,000. Then that puts us at a $10 trillion market cap. Is that right? Hundreds, thousands, billions, hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions. $10 trillion market cap. Now, here's the problem with a $10 trillion market cap is it could happen one day, sure, right? I'm not hating. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm going back to coin market cap as a whole. Today's global market cap of all crypto, all of it, is 1.65 trillion right now. We've seen it as high as 2 trillion. So we're saying that Pi would release at 5 times the market cap of all crypto together, including Bitcoin. The numbers there don't support that. Now, is it fair to say, could it be $1,000 in multiple years' time? Sure, right? Like, who's to say where crypto will go, right? I'm not to say. Like, I have no idea. So there's what I think. I think crypto. I think we'll see where it goes. Let me hit the show so you guys know what question I'm asking. I love the excitement of it, but I can't tell you. Like, and I'm not even going to give you a guess on what I think it'll open at because I truly have no idea. I truly don't. But if I get some kind of inside knowledge from somebody, it leaks it to me that we can trust will be real, sure. But the market will decide what Pi is worth. Buyers and sellers coming together. And I think Pi, when you have 30 million plus users, that's incredible for any crypto project. Like, that's mind-bogglingly large. And so if we have that many users involved, it's going to command influence. It's going to command major markets to want to open and list Pi. So I'm bullish on Pi's future, but we'll see where it goes for the rest. Okay. Pulse chain. I don't know much about Pulse chain. Is that, you'll have to let me know let me Google that real quick, even if that is a Cosmos one or not. Pulse chain. It's come across maybe in Twitter for me or something like that. Says it's the largest airdrop in history. Okay, so it's MetaMask, so it's definitely not. It's either going to be BNB or it's going to be Ethereum. I don't know anything about Pulse Chain. I'll have to dive into it a little bit more. Maybe you can let me know in the comments what you think about them and why you like them. Will I show you how to buy crypto? I mean, that's it's a tough question in the sense of, like, it depends on where you live geographically. But the traditional way that most people get into crypto is, and you have to be really careful about asking that question online because there's a lot of scammers are everywhere, right? But traditionally, what you're going to do is you're going to open up into an exchange that's accepted in your country. So if you're in the U.S., like Coinbase, Voyager, Gemini, Binance US, the Kraken, there's a whole bunch of exchanges that are licensed in the US. You sign into those, and that's your entry point to buying major cryptos. But now you're just opening a Pandora's box, and it's a fun Pandora's box because there's a lot of cryptos that will get you into their ecosystem. Like Ethereum can get you into Ethereum tokens. Cosmos can get you into Cosmos systems. So that's where you get started. And then it's a whole journey from there. And just know that you feel like you're lost. I talk to people every single day that are like, Wes, how do I get into crypto? I don't know anything about it like you do. Like, I just study it. I just look at it. It's a hobby. So if you feel like you're at this stage now of, like, how do I even buy and get started? Know that you're at the very first step, but there's millions of people behind you that haven't even got to that stage where they're even wanting to know. So you're still early to crypto as a whole. So there you have it. Zubair, hello back to you. Just saying hi to you. Thanks for jumping in. What do you think about the price of Pi? So I answered that already. Have you? Oh, so I have not, Sodi. I have not done KYC. I mentioned this earlier in the live stream. You may have come in a little bit later. I personally have not gotten through KYC. So I'm just like you are. I'm waiting just like you are. I have no special privileges, permissions. When I do go through KYC, I will let you know, and I'll share out my app with you so you can see what I can see. Won't do KYC with you, of course, because I can't have that information going out. But I'll let you know when I go through KYC. But I'm just like everyone else. Like, I literally have to check in myself and see if there's an open slot. I have no extra privileges at all in that, and nor am I asking for them. I'm just a regular user. So Just Habs is 100 billion in the white paper. Correct. So it's 100 billion in total, but at release, it'll be much less than that. And in their mainnet white paper that Nick and team wrote, is their estimate at release will be somewhere around 30 billion Pi will be out there. And then we'll have about 70 billion that will continue to be issued. And actually it won't be 70 billion because the core team has 20% of it. But regardless, a lot of the future Pi that's going to be released will come out years from now, just like Bitcoin. If you don't know, Bitcoin does the same thing. So Bitcoin is still being released even today. And we will all, on this live stream, hear me, look at me, we'll all be dead and Bitcoin will still be releasing. Isn't that cool? Because it's going to half-life into like the year 2100 something. I could go look it up to see when it ends. So pi is going to be kind of like that too. We're going to see a continued stream. It just gets less and less and less and less. And so when people get frustrated when you see like, oh, the May update came out and I'm making a lot less pi, that's actually not a bad thing. That's a good thing. It's scarcity. As more people are coming into the ecosystem, there's less pi to give out because we're giving it out fairly to everybody. And so it gets less and less and less, which means the scarcity goes up and the value goes up, right? Just basic economics. At least that's the goal for it. So there you have it. Hey, you're welcome, James CT. I appreciate the love. Right back at you. And man, Centurion TV, good vibes back to you too. It's Friday. Let's go have some fun. Good vibes, my friend. Really appreciate that. Again, I can't answer IOTX because I covered it once and I'm not fresh with it. So I'm not going to crypto pump. I'm not a moon pumper. No clue what it'll do. Will it do 100x, 1000x, negative 100x? Couldn't say. Not quite sure. Let's see. You're welcome, humble attraction. Appreciate that. Oh, Tim Fournette. This is a friend of mine. Tim is the man. He's sheltering. Appreciate you. Glad you're checking in, Tim. Good friend of mine. Arissa and Abba, I would love to see you doing a live AMA with Dr. Nicholas of Pi Network. Okay, I'm glad you asked, Arissa and Abba. I've actually asked the core team multiple times, when can I do an interview with you? And I think they're interested. I just haven't got a commitment back. And so I know the core team is going to watch this live stream. Some of them will. So just know you have an open invite on this channel for Dr. Nicholas to join. And I would love to do a live interview. I think that'd be the greatest thing on earth for the whole community at large. So if you want to make it happen, maybe just tweet at them and say, I want to see Wes Spencer interview. He said he's open to it. I want to see him interview Dr. Nick. Let's make it happen. I'd love to do it. And it's an open invite. I'm a huge fan of Nicholas and team and what they're doing. Deep respect for them. So I'd love to have them on the channel and do an interview. That'd be the coolest thing ever. So you guys maybe can make it happen. Gilbert got verified this morning. Congrats to you. You are in a rare group. Make sure that you go be a verifier yourself and let's spread this up. What is my Twitter handle? Let me show you what the Twitter handle is. I am right here. You can see it, Wes_Spencer. So twitter.com, Wes_Spencer. There was a scammer that had like 2 underscores. And I think we got rid of him finally. The scammers abound both on YouTube comments and Twitter. So you'll know it's me on YouTube because my name has like a dark pillbox behind it. You'll see people like scam my names all the time. So, but it's Wes_Spencer is me. Let's see what else here. Pi to the moon. Yes, indeed. Pi to the moon. Let's see what else we can see here. Can you please throw a little light on the price of pi for those that weren't here? So I just did. I hope you heard all of it. If not, just rewind the live stream and I'll talk to you about what's reasonable for the price. Maybe what's not reasonable, right? We just have to go off market caps. We don't have enough information yet. So you can rewind the live stream and get back to it. Luigi. I've done KYC once like a year ago and I'm getting a notification to do it all over again. Yeah. So I just mentioned that. So the core team did mention that people that went through Yoti are still going to have to do some amount of an additional process check. I don't know why. I'm not a mod, so I'm not sure why it is that way, but apparently you are going to have to do another check of some sort. I don't know if it's in depth or not. Again, I've already talked about price. 2140. I'm not sure what that means. I don't know if you're talking about what you think the pi price is or the year 21. Oh, I know what they're talking about. The 2140, I think, is the year Bitcoin finally exhausts itself. That's what I think it is because I'm working off memory here. So I think that's what they're saying. I was talking about the half-life of Bitcoin. Can you purchase Pi right now? You cannot purchase it right now. So if you find some exchange or app or something that's out there that's promising to be able to, like you can buy Pi, I guarantee you it's a scam. Guarantee. I can send Pi to someone, but right now it's just test Pi. So the block, here's the thing for haters of Pi that don't understand. I don't think there's any on the channel right now. They're like, Pi isn't even real. I'm like, no, it is real. Like you can go to blockchain.pinetwork.com, I think is the website right now. You can see it. It is actually transacting. It is working. But right now for all of us, it's just test Pi. So it's real Pi, but it's fake Pi, right? Like it's not worth anything. It will go away when we go into mainnet. We just use it for testing transactions is all test Pi is for. So it exists, but real Pi does not exist yet in the sense of like you can't buy it on an exchange or transfer it. Very few people can do any of that kind of stuff. So just know that. Let's see here. What do you think is the best safe way to earn yield on crypto considering BlockFi and Celsius have rejected US users? How soon till Gemini gets the memo from the SEC? Great question. Super good question. Okay. So keep in mind, I'm not your financial advisor and this is not financial advice. You need to make your own decision based upon your risk tolerances. So I have a course on Udemy. You can just search for my name on Udemy. Probably even just search. Let me just try this Udemy. Maybe I can put a link inside this chat for you. But you can do the whole DeFi thing if you want to. And DeFi is an interesting way to sort of like grow your crypto investments. Just know there's a lot of risk baked into DeFi, but you're going to see more and more users switch over to DeFi for those reasons. And so I have a course on Udemy. Let me pop it in here. It'll probably come in on YouTube. There we are. It's in chat now. For my Udemy course, if you want to take it, it's pretty cheap, and it'll walk you through like how to get into osmosis, how to yield farm and get gains from it, all that kind of stuff. There's risk involved in it for sure, and it takes a lot of activity. It could even be daily activity. So you're going to see a shift into DeFi platforms. If it's not like the Cosmos ecosystem, maybe it's going to be, Pancake Swap or Uniswap or Sienna Swap. There's all these new ones, and there's Trader Joe on Avalanche. There's a lot of these that are out there. So you're going to see a shift towards that. And then what I'm hoping for is we'll also see we'll get better clarity from regulators. We'll get from them some information around like what is acceptable for us to be able to open up these earn programs again. So I think what happened is BlockFi got fined. I think it was like $500 million from the SEC for their program, that the SEC just didn't like it. Celsius, you guys know I'm a huge fan of Celsius. Their earn program got shut down for now. And I asked them, I'm like, when is it going to come back? Because I know that you're not going to accept it being gone forever. And they're like, we have no comment at this time. In other words, we just don't know yet. We're still working. So hopefully the SEC will give better clarity, and then we'll see the CeFi lend programs come back. Because here's the deal. There's a lot of different investor profiles in crypto. There's some that like, crypto under the mattress, right? They just want to buy their crypto, hold it forever, hide it under the bed, keep it in their ledger, and never ever do anything with it. And then there's another class of crypto users that are like, they're not super technical, and they're like, no, I'm okay with giving it to Celsius and earning from them. They're okay with that, and that's perfect for them. But then there's that third category of like, no, I'm finding like the craziest DeFi project. I'm going to go invest in. I'm going to make 20-30% gains on it, and I realize I'm taking risk, but I'm just, that's cool for me. So there's those three classes that exist. And we need to see that middle class that got ripped apart by the SEC. We need to see that come back. And I think the way we see that is more clarity from them. So there's your answer. Check out my Udemy course if you want to see how to do it in osmosis. And you just got to make your own decision. But that'll at least get you going a little bit. Will everyone KYC before Pi Day on June 26th, or Pi 2 Day, I guess? I hope so. But until the core team gives us back numbers on how many people have completed KYC, how many are remaining, and how many are like what the process rate is right now, it's impossible to know. If it's like 10 a day, no. If it's like 10,000 a day, maybe. So in growing, like in a month, we double that to 20,000 because the new validators coming on, maybe, but it's impossible to say until we have some numbers back from the core team. So just don't know the answer to that, unfortunately. What do you think about MetaWar and Teika? I don't know. I've never been in either of those, unfortunately. So no comments on that. This would be the greatest thing for the Pi community. Appreciate that. That you're the realest YouTuber to cover. So here's the deal. Like the last thing I want to do is pump up Pi and say something inaccurate, or any crypto project, and then it falls down because you got my name, right? Wes Spencer. So like, I don't want to be known as a moon pumper. I want to be fair to projects and say what I think, but also not say something that's going to really make me eat crow. It's a US term for like embarrass myself and sacrifice my reputation. So this is why, as my channel has really grown and I'm getting closer to 100K subscribers, what I'm doing is I'm really changing the game a lot on how I take and work with sponsors. I don't really take sponsors at all, but I'm constantly being like blown up for them. Can you take a look at this? And the answer is always no, but maybe I'll review your project anyway if I like it. The reason is because I don't want to blow something up and then it falls apart and I'm just your next moon pumper. Like, I'm in this for the reputation game and I don't want to sacrifice it. My integrity is too important. So that's why when I cover Pi, for example, I try to stay even-minded about it. It's why I won't moon pump. I know there's one guy that like did a Pi video many years, like a year or two ago, of like Pi is $100. And I didn't watch the video. So I'm, whatever, but they got lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of views for that. I'd rather not get views and not say something to pump the community up when we don't know the answers. Right. So I just want to stay fair. Okay, what else do we have here? The short What is this here? The short KYC for Yoti verified pioneers mainly focused on liveness check. Okay, there you go. So Gilbert, I'm assuming you're a mod, maybe you have some inside knowledge. So if that's true, and I can't authenticate that, but if that's true, then the Yoti people, you just need to make sure it's actually you. The liveness check is where you hold your phone app. And I've done this with other apps before. And what you'll do is you just make sure that you're actually you. And then someone will check the image to make sure it's you, I guess, is the last check that has to happen there, which makes sense. Let's see. We're getting close to the end here, my friends. A few more questions I'll take, and then I'm going to have to jet out for the weekend, which is awesome, right? So what's the estimated price? So I've talked about this over and over, Adrini. You'll have a chance to go back and watch the rest of the live stream, you'll kind of understand where I'm at on the Pi price. We don't have the answer to it and why. So I've talked about that a good bit. Are there any, again, this is what I wanted to know too. Are there any statistics or numbers to KYC'd and approved pioneers and validators? At this point, no. I'd love to have them, right? What else? It's the NFT of Pi. Oh, okay. So Mac was asking me earlier about, I don't know what he was asking me about, but maybe it was like some NFT based thing. I'm not sure, but not sure. Pi really does seem dead. I'm ready to stop mining. So Bill, here's my advice to you. That's okay, right? Like that is okay. For a lot of people, we get emotionally attached into the projects we love. And then when they don't deliver the way we want them to deliver, we get really unhappy. That's okay. My advice to you is take a break. Don't worry about checking in. Like do this for me if you want to, right? You make your own decisions, right? I can't control you, but here's what I do. I take a week away from Pi, just totally. Take a week away from crypto. Like when's the last time I did a video on this a while back of like literally taking a break on crypto because you can get so in depth into it that you get tunnel vision, get frustrated, mad about stuff. And you go take a break. You're like, oh, there's more to this world than crypto. And so, if Pi seems dead, I understand why it's taking a long time. No big deal. You ready to stop mining? Stop mining. Take a break from it. That is okay. Anyone that tells you different is either a total pumper and just can't tolerate someone like that or just doesn't understand, right? So like take a break, Bill. You'll be okay. I'll be okay. We'll all be okay. It's good to take breaks. So don't be afraid of that. What do I think about B Network? Let me just say this. I've never been in B Network. I've never even logged in. I'm aware of it. I covered it as like a competitor to Pi, but I don't remember why, but there were some red flags I had on the project. And so I just decided it wasn't for me and have never covered it ever since. That doesn't mean it's not for you. I'm not blessing it or cursing it. I don't bless or curse any project, right? So, but it's not for me. And I'm not involved in it. No plans to get involved in B. So just me, right? Just me. Bitcoin and ETH going to merge? No way. Can't ever see that happening. Nope. The reason is they're two totally different platforms and projects. You're more likely to see Bitcoin maybe one day incorporate some of the capabilities that Ethereum has around smart contracts. In fact, that's starting to happen. But merging, no way. Definitely won't happen. They're two totally different projects, different mechanisms. Ethereum has, I think, an unlimited supply. Bitcoin's very limited. No way they'd ever merge. So I'm going to wait for maybe just 10, 30, 20, 30 more seconds. And then we'll be out on the way. But I did want to say somehow, did I actually pin this? I think I did. I pinned that comment. I did want to say, really appreciate you guys joining today. Like hundreds of you joined throughout. So, and that means a lot to me. Like this is a lot of fun. I hope today's live stream was useful. Let me know if it was. Sometimes it's easier for me to roll up a bunch of news into a live stream and we get to connect like this, which is a lot of fun. So, hope you guys enjoyed that. And, until next time, I'll answer a couple more questions. I'm going to get going. So how to, acquire shoes and step in. So watch my latest video. I showed how that works. You're going to have to own a crypto called Solana, and then you import Solana into the app, and then you can buy from there. So my last YouTube video on StepN, I cover the whole thing. So you'll be able to see how to get into all that if you want to. What do I think about BTCs? What do you mean? Like Bitcoins? Like I love Bitcoin. I'm a huge fan of Bitcoin. I'm not sure, Thomas, if you can let me know what you mean more about that. Like, but I'm a huge Bitcoin fan. I own Bitcoin. It's the king, and it's it's the original OG crypto that's out there, right? It's not for everybody for lots of reasons, but huge fan of Bitcoin, right? So I know about Sweatcoin. Sweatcoin is like another incentivized, like move to earn kind of thing. And I've heard of it, Tarek, but I don't know anything about it. So if you think it's one I should take a peek at, I may do that. It'd be fun to cover a whole class of these, like, exercise and get outdoors and, hey, you nerds, go do something coins. I think that'd be good. Okay. So I think we're going to end the chat there. This has been a ton of fun. If you've been watching, would you hit like and subscribe? I ask it for every video, and I'll continue to ask it. It really does go a long way. I have some great news coming up as well. Next week on Monday, we've got an interview with one of the core team members of the FEG project, Feed Every Gorilla. If you guys don't know, I've been covering FEG for quite some time. I really love where that project's going. So I've got an interview with them coming up. That's going to be fun. I love doing interviews on this channel. I've covered a whole bunch of them and more interviews to come that I'm stacking up. I think they're a lot of fun. So stay tuned to the channel. Share this out with some friends. Hope you guys all have a great Friday. Tell your boss if you're at work that I said you can go home and rest the rest of the weekend. All right, my friends. Thank you guys so very much.